Good morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you're calling from. We're just going to let everybody get settled. Lots of people dropping in right now. Please take the opportunity to familiarize yourself, where the questions box is, so you can ask any questions that you have during this presentation. We'll get a few polls started, and then we'll be handing this off to Pierre and Dan. And as we talk about PowerSeries Pro and advanced features, so we'll just launch these polls quickly. There we go. First one, nice and easy. Everybody should be able to get this one. Did you attend last week's presentation on IQ2 and partitions? Oh, there we go. About 2/3 attended last week's workshop. That's awesome. We'll give that a few more seconds just to give everybody the opportunity to vote. It's great to see all those people returning again. Welcome, and thank you for coming. All right, we'll close that one off. We will launch our next one. Another easy one. Have you installed a PowerSeries Pro before? Hold on, let me actually launch it. Ah, see, technical difficulties, right? Never simple. Try it again. Here we go. Have you installed a PowerSeries Pro before? All right. Looks like about 2/3 have not installed a PSP before. That is that's interesting. Well, hopefully after this you decide you want to install a PowerSeries Pro. I think you'll be pretty impressed with what this product can bring. So we'll give that a few more seconds. Yeah, and it's a pretty solid 2/3 have not installed Pro. All right. Okay. So 2/3 of you don't have to answer this question. So if you have installed PowerSeries Pro before, which models? So HS3032, 3128, or 3248? All right. So about pretty even between 3032 and the 3128. Small number at the 3248. So, but pretty even results right across the board there. All right, we'll give that a couple more seconds. And we'll close it. 2 more. So when you've installed a PowerSeries Pro, for those 1/3, which communicator paths did you utilize? This is a choose all that apply. So the ADC communicator, the C24 communicator, the built-in IP, and or POTS. So let's see. Nobody for POTS. Not a surprise there. 85%, 75% on alarm.com. Very interesting. Very almost 0 on the Connect 24 communicator. So 80% alarm.com and 20% using the built-in IP communicator. Very interesting. All right, we'll close that. And the last one before I hand this off to Dan and Pierre. For those, again, who have installed a PowerSeries Pro previously, did you use the PowerSeries Pro installer app, that utilizes the Wi-Fi dongle? And depending on if these numbers hold true, Dan and Pierre, I think we definitely should be talking about the app and Wi-Fi dongle. So right now, 100% of the people voting have not used the PowerSeries Pro installer app. Give that a couple more seconds. We're sitting solid at 100% no. All right. Interesting. Okay, so we're going to close this off. And I'm going to pass this off. I'm going to go on mute. And Dan, Pierre, all to you. Judge.
All right. Welcome to our webinar here today on PowerSeries Pro and some advanced features of that panel. Got a lot of stuff to cover, fast and furious. But my name is Dan Johnson. I'm a TAM, Technical Account Manager for JCI, covering the Qualsys and DSC products. Been with DSC for 18 years. How about you, Pierre?
I'm Pierre Vachon. I'm the Technical Account Manager for Eastern Canada. I've been with DSC for 12, almost 13 years now.
Good deal. So between the two of us, we've got 30 years of experience with DSC and Qualsys, right? I don't know if I've been alive that long. All right, today we're going to talk about the PowerSeries Pro and the family of that product line, some of the modules and feature bases that differentiate this from other panels within the family. Now, this comes from a family of product, and that family started back in 1995 with the introduction of the 832. And the question, rhetorical, would be how many people out there have installed an 1832? Out of that family grew 4 total panels, giving that product line a capability of 64 total zones. In 2006, we updated that platform to what we know today in the 1832 series, again, up to 64 zones. In 2014, we introduced the Neo platform with 4 panels going now up to 128 zones. And the Pro platform was introduced in 2018, taking this product line now up to 248 zones. At the end of the day, it's my true belief that if you know one of these panels, you can navigate through them all. And I usually say that, and Pierre will interrupt me and say that's not true. I don't believe that. Is that correct, Pierre?
Well, if you know,
we kind of went back and forth with this, but I truly believe it. If we go back into history a little bit to the 832, 26 years ago now, where did you program your zone definitions for zones 1 through 8?
001.
Same as the Pro. How about line supervision for the panel? Single end, double end, normally closed.
Section 013.
Same as the Pro.
Yeah.
How about wireless programming? Where did you load your wireless serial numbers in section in the 830?
804, our
Same as the
famous
Pro.
804 section for wireless. Yeah.
Yeah, same type of thing. So don't be scared of it. It's just the nature of the progression of this panel, but it's very similar to its roots. Here's a layout of all the panel side by side, and I don't expect you to read every line here, but we go up to 248 zones today, up to 32 partitions. We can have up to 180 PGM outputs in this panel, and we have event buffers that go up to 2,000 events through the 3 panels in this product line. So again, a quick comparison between the 3 panels of the Pro platform. Pierre, you want to take this?
Yep, I'll take this one here. So it's the key differences between the Neo and the Pro. So basically, if you guys know the Neo panel, you basically know the Pro. And today's goal is to give you the main differences. So first of all, that's a big one. Just we're gonna have to power up the panel with DC input now instead of AC. And the next slide, you'll see what kind of adapter you need for the panel. Obviously, we only have full LCD keypads now and touchscreens, triple end of line resistor and anti-masking. Dan and I will cover that later on in the presentation. The next one is the built-in IP communicator. So if you guys know the TL280 with Neo, it's basically the same programming sections all the way around. Plus, you have a description of each field into the 851 section of the programming. So that's a good one as well. You guys probably know the PC link connections we have on our panel since a long time. So we added some USB connectors now, a type A and a type B USB connector. Next one is the also a good one. The panel offers you 2 amp of power instead of 700 milliamp with the Neo. So it's almost 3rd time what the Neo offers you. PGM outputs, a little bit more of current as well in there, 100 milliamp instead of 50 milliamp. And the last one, which is not the least, is the diagnostic features you have in the Pro. And also then we'll cover that part later on in the presentation. So this is the power supply you'll need to for the Pro. So remember now we're powering up the Pro with a DC power supply, the HS65WPS, minding the polarity now. one of the questions I have during my training is, Pierre, can I go kind of as far as the AC transformer when I'm using the DC one? Is you got to stay kind of close to the panel if you want to put the power supply aside the main panel. So 4 meters, about 13 feet is what we recommend in our manuals. Up to you, Dan.
Hardware wise, here's the motherboard. Layout of this, we now have removable terminals. So if you're doing a panel swap, or if you just want to take the terminals off and wire them in your hand, as I've had a couple dealers mentioned, they are now removable. Here's the 3 connections to the panel for the programming, alarm.com. We can use the PC link for programming with DLS5 and alarm.com connection. The USB is for the Wi-Fi dongle for the app and DLS programming. And we now have the micro B connection for DLS programming. The communicator for the cellular side is a plug-in module now. Simply plugs into the control panel and hovers above that board. The IP is built in, as Pierre mentioned, so you no longer have to purchase an extra TL280 or find room for it inside the can. And finally, the DC input that Pierre mentioned. Here's some of the modules that the control panels for the Pro, again laying out the 32, 128, and 248 control panels, the modules. The 3408 is the 8-zone zone expander. These modules and the motherboard have the ability to have variable resistance programmed for the zone resistance. We'll talk about that a little bit later. The 3204CX is a 2 amp power supply with 4 form sheet PGM outputs built into it. And it also allows us to extend the bus out farther than the older platforms would allow, potentially up to 14,000 feet. The 3350 is a 3 amp power supply, so there's lots of power for those larger jobs in this platform. The Pro is compatible with some of the older Neo modules, the power supplies, zone expanders, output boards, and the transceiver are all compatible and can be pulled into the Pro. With the 2108, you do not get the variable resistance capability that the motherboard and the 3408 zone expanders offer. Go ahead, Pierre.
So we talked about the cellular options. So we do have the DSC part, which is the LE9080, our regular cellular communicator. It goes on the LTE cell network, initialized and programmed through Connect24. Obviously, as you can see on the picture, it snaps on the main board on that 24 pins connector. As far as the signal strength, so you can go through programming section 850 to visualize your cell strength. And in case you need to get a better signal, we do have options with different antenna kits from 15 to 50 feet antenna kits. Also, the other cell option would be to go with our TL880LE, which is the alarm.com communicator. So as we could see in the poll questions, there's many of you that are using alarm.com. So that's the same communicator. Just be sure that you have the latest version of the communicator. So version 189G and up. I think we're at 191A as of today. So it's the same radio as Neo, compatible with the Pro. Well, with the Pro, we're at version 1.3 right now, so we're good to go. It does have the Z-Wave controller built in. A little note in there, if in case you're using the 248 zone panel, just mind that you have limitation of 8 partitions with alarm.com and up to 220 zones with the 248 zone panel. Up to you, Dan.
All right, some of the advanced features. Here's that Wi-Fi dongle, the HSM3 Wi-Fi USB. This plugs into the motherboard. It's a tech tool, so you buy one for a tech. He uses it time and time again. and they can plug that into the panel and connect to the panel via Wi-Fi with DLS5 or through the alarm installer app that is available on your store. You can watch a video at this location here that goes through the operation of it. Doesn't sound like anybody's done it, so I'd have you review that because we don't have the time today to go through that application. But it's pretty slick, and you can interface with the panel. Through the DLS5 software, you can do pretty much 100% of programming through that. On the app, it's somewhere around the 50 to 60%. There's some areas of programming you can't adapt to. So, here.
This is a new section in the Pro, which is pretty slick. Is that you can actually program your end-of-line resistance. We had a discussion about resistance and resistors, Dan and I, yesterday. So in section 004, you can actually change the usual DSC resistor, which is our 5.6K, to something else. So for example, if you go single end of line and you hit a panel when you want to take over, which is something else between 0.5 and 28K, you can actually program that value in the panel. So same thing for double end of line and triple end of line. So triple end of line is a new feature of the Pro, which Dan will talk about in a second.
There you go. Good deal. Nice segue. So triple end of line is used for anti-masking features on motions and contacts that offer it, where if you cover up a motion or you put a different magnetic field into the contact, it can actually cause a disturbance, and we can set that up with anti-masking. As Pierre mentioned, that the values for the resistance is programmed in section 004. For triple end of line, the standard contact would use a 5.6K, and the tamper would be 5.6K, and the anti-masking would be 10K resistance. To assign that functionality to a zone, we'd go into the zone attributes in section 002 of programming and assign the triple end of line to the zone specific for anti-masking. The wiring of this aspect is pretty much the same as a double end of line. However, we do have that fault or mask output on these devices that we would parallel a 10K resistor in this example across that. In the event that that anti-masking was disturbed, it would open up and cause a trouble on the control panel, at which point the customer could drill down by hitting the star to determine which device was in mask condition. Here.
So talking about anti-masking feature, so Dan just mentioned about if you want to go hardwire with the triple end of line resistor, but we do have the option of using the existing PowerG motion sensors that we already have out there that has the or that have the anti-masking feature, like the PG9984, PG9974, 44, and 94. And also at the far right, you have the PG9312, which is the, I'll quote that, the new outdoor contact. There's a nice feature about it that you can actually adjust your magnet sensitivity. So if somebody wants to put another magnet between the magnet and the door contact, which has a 2-inch gap, you can actually get a masking trouble like Dan mentioned. And you would have the same trouble on the keypad display like the triple end of line resistor. That's a really cool feature.
Very cool. All right, diagnostic section 911. Very strong area of this panel. It may allow you to leave your meter in the truck. If you did it at home, you might be able to utilize the panel with its diagnostics functionality. We can go into section 911 and look at each module for different voltage readings and resistance readings. For example, on the motherboard, we can see what the DC input is. A lot of times tech support will ask you to meter that to find out what's coming into the panel. Well, the panel will now tell us what it's receiving. What's your battery sitting at? What's your AUX, your bus, and your bell circuit sitting at as far as the voltage output? And end of line resistance. If you don't have your meter, plug it into zone 1 and read zone 1. What is that resistor sitting on that board at that time? We can drill down to each module on the bus and determine all sorts of different information, voltages and resistance values. On the power supplies, we can see what the battery levels are. On the newer power supplies, we can get in and see what the input voltage is, and all sorts of different information available. This will allow you to dig deeper into the panel. This is what some of the screens will look like when you're in this section, allowing you to review the information. For example, here's where a battery is sitting, or the input coming in to the board is at 18.2. We might have a resistance value at 5.5. And is that good enough, or is that going to be stable in the application? So all sorts of information can be determined in section 911 on this panel, and drilling it down into what we used to pull a meter out of the truck for.
That is actually probably my favorite feature of the Pro is the 911 section, actually. So the next
I bought a $75 meter back from Radio a long time ago. I don't need it anymore. So I'm getting a free meter every time I buy a Pro.
Yep, yeah, I like it. So the new PowerG devices, they're coming with the built-in temp sensor. I would say probably for more than a year or so, the latest sensors are going back to the 9922 glass break. And now we can take advantage of this built-in temp sensor, and you can actually read back the temperature, ambient temperature around those devices. So the techs that are used by pressing the keys, the start key on the keypad, now will have an extra menu where you can read out the temperature from those sensors. So if you go star, you can actually read the temperature right at the keypad. Another nice feature is you can actually pick one of those zones that has the built-in sensor and kind of always display that temperature directly at the keypad like you see on the screen. So looking at the date we have over there then, that was a pretty recent screenshot.
Quick, didn't we? We did. So
you kind of go into the keypad programming and enable the display and just pick the zone that you want that will kind of display on the keypad. So you could display an indoor and an outdoor temperature on each keypad.
And that could come from any one of these, right, Pierre?
Yep. From the 9914, you have the glass break, the latest glass break. We have we launched two recent ceiling mount motion sensor, the 9862, 9872, the outdoor contact, the latest curtain type PIR, smoke and the CO, and also the new commercial universal contact. All of these PowerG devices, they have the temp sensor built in actually that you can take advantage.
And you can view those at any time by hitting star on the keypad and arrowing through the different zones and seeing what their display is. Pretty cool.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah, another example of how you can read out the temperature from a zone. And the zone could be displayed on this slide. You can actually, somebody named it like PG9914, but it could be anything that you want to, the zone label that you want to put in there.
Now, does it always have to be in Celsius?
In Canada, yes.
Yeah, okay.
You can switch to Fahrenheit if you want, then. It's in the programming. That's an easy one.
All right. Section 019, we can make a switch between Celsius and Fahrenheit. Perfect.
Option 7.
All right. For more information on this product, you can visit dsc.com. We also have a pro site that you can go and connect to. And if we can get to the DSC website, I'll show you how to navigate there real quick. So here on dsc.com, you can go to the banner for the Pro. That will take you over to the PowerSeries Pro platform, and you can scroll through and review all the different information, some videos on the product capabilities, a comparison between the Neo and the Pro platforms and what they offer side by side. And if you scroll all the way towards down the bottom, you'll land on the videos. Well, for some reason, it doesn't like what I just did. At the very bottom of this page is going to be the videos
There you
that
go.
you can go through for programming. Can you still see that, Pierre?
Yeah, I can see the screen with the how-tos videos. Pretty handy.
Yes.
It's basically the same programming as Neo, so that's the nice thing about it.
Exactly. And if you want to review the installer app, there's a nice video there that goes through and explains that setup. So that's the PowerSeries Pro website that you can get off of the DSC website. All right, I think we have time for a few questions maybe. Pierre and I wanted to go as long as we possibly could so we could avoid this part of the deal, but are there any questions out there?
Yeah, so we actually just had a question come in, guys. Yep, we actually had a question just come in. Can the temperature from the devices that are being displayed be used for anything else?
Today, no. Eventually, they are looking at integrating those into other platforms. So maybe a home automation or a building automation platform might be able to use those for different triggers or temperature ranges and averaging in that application.
Awesome. I also just wanted to remind everyone that's participating here that we have some product handouts that you can download. And if you have any additional questions or want some additional training, feel free to reach out to your local TAM for some more in-depth training on the PowerSeries Pro.
Great. Dan, Pierre, great job. Everybody, this is the second last in season 1, we're going to call it, of our technical weekly workshop. We'll see who gets recast for season 2. But again, we would ask that when this presentation ends momentarily, there will be an after workshop survey that we desperately like your feedback. We're looking for what you want to see, other ideas for season 2. And we are very, very glad that you join us every week, and we hope everybody stays safe. And we're going to hit end, and please again fill that out. We did just get a question, when does season 2 start? We have not set a firm date for season 2. Rest assured, it'll be on all of our social media and our emails. We just need to take a little break. We all need to renegotiate our contracts for appearing on TV, so to speak. But we will be. You guys are getting paid for this. I'm not. So we will be doing a season 2. But rest assured, we will be posting it all over social media, and it probably, best guess for probably we'll take 3-4 weeks off and then come back with season 2. So again, thanks everybody for your time. Please stay safe out there, and thanks again for joining.